In this video, I'm going to explain my transition from working as a professional filmmaker and in 2020 transitioning to working here remotely at home. Hello and welcome to Media Academy Online. Before the virus hit, I was working 9 to 5 at a studio in my home city of Melbourne, and I would be travelling there every day creating TV commercials and other videos out of that studio. And when the virus hit, we suddenly saw a shift from office and studio spaces suddenly working remotely online. And filmmakers had to learn how to pivot to this new way of working. For a large chunk of the production process, we were all basically forced to work from home. And that meant really rethinking what I do professionally and recrafting that into more of a solo business. So I had to think about a few things. I had to think about storage. I had to think about having a computer that could run these files. And I had to make sure that all of this would be able to run the high resolution raw footage that I was using every day. Throughout this transition, I also updated my computer to this one because I did have a fully spec'd iMac Pro at the office, which I wasn't able to take home. So I've been working off this guy, which is, here's my specs. And the laptop I'm upgrading from, I actually bought it in 2014, I believe, and these are the specs here, so I'm upgrading from these specs. In my situation, it was best for me just to hire the computer. And the way that it works is every time that I do a payment on this computer, I'm actually paying down the price of the computer. So at the end of, a certain amount of years, 2-3 years, by the end of it, I've paid the computer off and it's mine. So it's not a big outlay. I did consider about buying a computer, but I thought in my situation, I bought this earlier in the year. I was hearing all the rumbles about these new computers coming out, which turned out to be the M1. I might wait out a few more years for us to get some beefier, gruntier M1 chips from Apple. Then I'll probably upgrade my computer then to something bigger and better. But for now, this is working fine. This works fine with the files I need. It works fine with my raw files as long as I'll either create a proxy or I'll make sure that my settings are set to 1/4 playback so that I can just work a little bit more zippier. For anyone who has a computer that isn't necessarily as beefy as other computers and you do need to work in large raw files like this, create yourself some proxies. If you're interested in seeing a video explaining proxies, let me know and I'll create one. But proxies is a great option for people that don't have necessarily the fastest computer on hand. I had to think about storage, buying myself a hard drive deck. So I had to buy something that could hold multiple hard drives. My one holds 8 different hard drives in the one. Before that, I would have to have multiple hard drives and it was a mess. So having a system like this means I can run multiple drives and I don't have to worry about having any huge server setups or anything like that. It was a simple little box that sits next to my computer and it basically runs everything I need to run. And that's one part of the puzzle. The second part of the puzzle was backup. Now that I was working from home, I didn't have, the luxury of knowing my files were automatically backed up onto a server somewhere. And I had to make sure that I had some sort of backup in case something went wrong. When transitioning to working from home, there's a few things you need to consider. And it's the difference between working professionally from home and just creating content from home. There's a big difference between the two. And you need to now consider a few things. Things like security, hard drive, and if something goes wrong with those hard drives or those files, you've got backups. So when considering hard drives, I need to consider all of the different steps throughout a production. And that's definitely something you need to consider when working on professional shoots. First of all, you need to get yourselves some of these. These are basic portable hard drives. I always buy 2 of these when I do any professional job. The first one is my backup. So that means as soon as I get home, no matter how tired I am from that shoot, the first thing I'm going to do is copy those files onto hard drive A, the one I keep, and hard drive B, the one that goes to the client. So this one here is going to be my backup just for that job. This drive will only ever be for that single job. And it's not an issue because I did budget for it in the quote. So it's definitely something that I've always thought about and considered. Maybe every few days, once a week, or when you finish that project, you're going to copy all of the working files onto this hard drive as well. The 4 terabyte hard drive should be enough. If not, you can get bigger ones. I normally just go straight for a 4 terabyte drive. So that means you're probably going to have heaps of these flying around, but that's good, that's normal. That means that you've got a physical backup of all of your jobs. The next thing I think about is when I'm working on projects. I'm working off a lot of these guys when I'm working on any project. These are basically my working drives. These I'm happy to put multiple files on, multiple jobs on, so things will change and get updated on these drives. But a small rule of thumb is that I might have a drive like this, and I might have 4 or 5 clients on there, and all those clients' jobs goes onto the one drive. That will go into my dock, which can hold 8. Now, there's one thing you need to consider with these docks is that it can be slower if you're working on multiple drives at one time than just running one of these straight into the computer. And that goes back to that idea of having all of the same client on one drive. That means you aren't trying to read off multiple drives at the same time, which can create a bottleneck for your files. Once it's full, I don't delete it. I take it out, I put it on the pile, and that stays here. You can work off SSDs, you can get SSD versions of these if you'd prefer. For me, it's fine, I've already built a system around these, and for smaller files, it's not an issue. This is what I'm going to run off any smaller files. So anything HD, anything that's maybe MP4, H.264, smaller files will run off this. Anything raw, I have one of these guys. And this is a portable SSD. This SSD, I will hold any project that I'm working on at the time. I'll put all of the raw files onto here. I wouldn't worry about putting all the other files like Photoshop files or Premiere files or anything like that. They will live on the main drives. This is only for those footage files. There's one last piece that is missing from all of this. I need some other backup, which means all of my files are protected, backed up if something was to go wrong. And that's with cloud storage. So I did my research and I found a software called Backblaze. Now this isn't a promotion or anything, we don't get promotions, we're little, but if you'd like to get promoted by us, let us know and we'll work it out with our 300 odd subscribers. Subscribe, that'd be great. This software is great because basically anything you do on your computer, any changes, this software will just run in the background and automatically upload all of your files to the cloud. And there is no data limit. I've got 10 terabytes worth of data now on Backblaze, and it reads all of my drives. So I have a shoot, I upload the files, they go onto that drive, and automatically they're getting uploaded straight to the cloud. If I needed those files in a hurry, they'll actually put the files onto a physical drive for me and mail that drive to me. If something goes wrong and I'm halfway through a project, I can easily get those files and I'm only down a couple of days. That is how I personally set up my home studio setup. It's different for everyone. This is what works for me. I considered what was needed for my productions. Every production's different. I'm not always working in 8K raw files. I'm not always doing that. Sometimes I'm just working on a small HD project. So this setup worked perfectly for me. Anyway, we'll leave it there. So hopefully you found some interesting facts here and maybe it can help you when either building up your own setup or transitioning like I did to working from home. Please do me a huge solid, like, subscribe, ring that bell. No, actually, please subscribe because we don't have many subscribers. We're doing our best to grow as best we can. So subscribing will do us a huge favor. So with that said, I'll see you next time and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching Media Academy Online. If you'd like to explore more of our content, click on this or click on that. Like and subscribe, thumbs up, ring bells, do a dance, sing a song, drink a hot cup of tea or coffee, and I'll see you in the next one.